Right now I'm just revisiting this code base. I want to go through all of these pages and make sure they look the ways that they should. I'm going to focus mostly on the overall concept. I should say entity type, because concept is a first level entity in this code base. So for all of these, I want them to look roughly the same. For example, here, we see must be logged in to continue, and then a requirement, and then another requirement. It says must be logged in to continue. One of the difficulties with the way that I've done this so far is there's a list of features that are required, but no specification about where those features are. So if I were to hand this off to someone else, they could do a search in the code base for app aggregate features. That might be aggregate, I don't remember. But they're only going to find it here. So that isn't helpful for them. They can also do a search for div. And there are a lot of divs that exist. I see that there's one here, but that has a button inside of it. There's one here, also has a button inside of it. A couple that might, if I didn't see the HTML around it, I might suspect that that's where the text is coming from. But it's pretty opaque, I should say, where that div is coming from and what that div means. Is it the must log in widget? Children. So I see registry.map, I, and then this div that doesn't have a class name. So I'm just going to hard code something in there so it's easier for us to tell if that's the one that's giving us the error. Registry. So the class name is available features, or that's the context, or concept, I should say, the idea. Maybe I'll change the name of concept in the code base or try to find a way to distinguish those entity types, because I understand that can get kind of confusing. So actually, instead of doing it here, I'm going to turn this into a list item and then wrap this with an unordered list element. See if that changed anything. Yep. So now I'm going to do a search for unordered list, just because I'm curious. And I see that there are a few different places where there is an unordered list without a class name. That isn't necessarily bad in and of itself, but it is kind of unclear, I should say, what that does. So I'm going to say class name and have that be available features. Must log in error message. That's not necessarily the clearest. Either way, it's a little bit clearer what those are. And if we want to remove this class in the future, we'll know what it does. It's only used in one place. One of the options is that I could add that to this class names file, but I'm not trying to refactor too much at once. At least not in this case. Mostly because I'm aiming specifically for the addition of a lot of features. And then I'm going to go through and actually clean up the code a bit. That should be good for now. Cool.